All right, let's just jump right into this explainer and tackle a huge paradox. Something that's probably baffled you at least once or twice, right? Why do incredibly smart, highly educated people so often make just terrible financial decisions? I mean, we usually think of money as this pure numbers game, interest rates, market returns, spreadsheets, the whole shebang. But the source material we're digging into today, drawing heavily on Morgan Housel and other top financial thinkers, well, it reveals a completely different reality. It turns out two people can earn the exact same income, right? And one will become totally financially independent while the other stays trapped and constantly anxious. And the crazy part? The difference isn't their IQ. Not at all. It's actually their behavior.
So, in today's explainer, we are going to completely tear down some pretty toxic money myths and rebuild your financial mindset from the ground up. Our agenda covers 5 crucial points. Number 1, emotion over intelligence. 2, rich versus wealthy. 3, how money buys freedom. 4, luck, risk, and humility. And finally, number 5, the power of patience. So let's get right to it. Section 1, emotion over intelligence. Let's look at our first major paradigm shift and see exactly why money is completely misunderstood by basically most of society. Okay, so here's the absolute foundation of everything we're talking about today. The grand myth is that financial success is all about being some kind of math genius. But the reality, money touches everything deeply human about us. It taps into our survival instincts, our obsession with status, childhood memories, our fears, our ego, all of it. Honestly, financial success is way less about mastering spreadsheets and far more about mastering your own fear and envy. Think about it. You can understand compound interest perfectly, right? But if you panic and sell everything when your portfolio drops 30%, well, all that math knowledge is literally useless. Now, I want you to basically mentally highlight this question. Like, really ask yourself this the next time you swipe your credit card or make an investment. What emotion is controlling my decision right now? Because as financial experts like Suze Orman point out, a lot of our biggest money mistakes actually stem from fear or shame. Say you grew up constantly hearing, "We can't afford that." Well, you might actually overspend now just to feel a sense of control. Those invisible childhood scripts, they are constantly driving our spending behind the scenes without us even realizing it.
And there is hard scientific truth to back this all up. Nobel laureate Daniel Kahneman points out that high intelligence doesn't just magically erase our psychological biases. We have this built-in mental shortcut called loss aversion. Basically, losing $10,000 feels significantly worse than gaining $10,000 feels good. It's just how we're wired. And as Charlie Munger famously noted, a high IQ can actually be super dangerous here, because smart people get overconfident and then they use that massive intelligence to basically just justify really bad emotional decisions.
Section 2, rich versus wealthy. Now, what's really fascinating here is how we constantly confuse looking successful with actually being free.
We are so conditioned to judge money by what we can visibly see, aren't we? The flashy car, the giant house, the crazy expensive vacations. But that is just being rich. It's loud, and honestly, it usually just proves that someone has spent a lot of money. Being wealthy, on the other hand, is the exact opposite. It's quiet. Wealth is the money you haven't spent. It's the paid-off mortgage, the quiet investment account, the preserved options.
And look, this is exactly how people go broke trying to look rich. It's a tragic cycle. You earn a higher income, you immediately upgrade your lifestyle to buy visible status symbols, to show everyone how great you're doing. And boom, you end up secretly trapped. Financial folks like Dave Ramsey actually call this being broke at a higher level. From the street, you look completely successful, but internally, you are just one single emergency away from total financial disaster.
So the really crucial point to grasp here is that true wealth is actually invisible. Quiet wealth is the endurance to keep your savings and avoid the panic. It's literally the freedom that nobody claps for. The neighbor next door might never even know you're wealthy. To really build wealth, you have to get totally comfortable being underestimated by society.
And Warren Buffett really delivers the ultimate mic drop on this. A car just tells you someone spent money. It doesn't mean they actually have it. The scorecard society admires is just completely wrong. If your financial decisions are based on getting outside applause, you are never going to be satisfied. You've got to stop buying things you can't afford just to impress people who, frankly, aren't paying your bills.
Section 3, money buys freedom. All right, let's shift gears and focus on the actual purpose of money, which most people get completely backwards.
A lot of people think the whole point of money is to buy bigger, better stuff. But actually, the absolute highest dividend money pays is freedom. It's control over your time. It gives you the power to just say no, to walk away from a toxic job, to rest when you need to take care of a sick family member without completely panicking. Think about it the way Vicki Robin describes it. Money buys your life energy back. It buys you distance from being dependent on others. And this brilliantly connects to a very ancient truth. The Stoic view from Seneca hits the nail on the head. He explains why doubling your income is never going to bring you peace if your appetite just doubles right along with it. This is the ultimate trap of lifestyle inflation. If you make twice as much, but suddenly you desire twice as much, you're literally running on the exact same treadmill, just faster. True freedom only starts when your wants actually become manageable.
Section 4. Luck, Risk, and Humility. Okay, next up, we need to debunk what is probably the most comforting, ego-driven story in all of personal finance. We absolutely love the individual hero story, don't we? You know, the guy who worked super hard, took a massive risk, and won big. But survivorship bias completely blinds us here. We only ever interview the one winner, and we totally ignore the thousands of people who made the exact same smart choices, put in the exact same hustle, but completely failed. Why? Because of bad timing, bad health, or a random market crash. Now, skill and discipline absolutely matter, for sure. But timing, luck, and hidden variables, they play a massive role, far more than our egos ever want to admit.
Annie Duke's insight here is so vital because it reveals a huge psychological trap. Winning often creates this incredibly dangerous arrogance. When people win, they automatically think, oh, I knew it all along, I'm a total genius. We confuse the quality of the outcome with the quality of the decision. But you can make a reckless, terrible decision and just get lucky. If you start believing you're a genius, you're going to completely underestimate future risks, and eventually the market will humble you. Hard.
So what's the antidote to all of this? Humility. Success should make us thankful, not arrogant. Humility is an absolute survival tool. Because when you admit that you might actually be wrong, what do? You diversify. You save more. You build in a margin of safety. It prevents you from betting your entire future on one single overconfident forecast.
Section 5. The Power of Patience. All right, let's look at our final truth, which reveals the absolute best financial strategy you could possibly adopt.
Look, we all want fast results, but the greatest financial force in the world is compounding. And compounding is incredibly hard precisely because it feels so unimpressive for years. It's slow, it's repetitive, it's boring. Impatient people want the harvest without waiting for the season, so they end up quitting right before the magic actually happens.
So think about this. If compounding is so undeniably powerful, why do so many really smart people fail at it? What destroys long-term financial plans the most? Is it the market?
Well, actually, no. It is rarely just the market. If we look at the collective wisdom of investing titans, people like John Bogle and Ray Dalio, they point to something else entirely, our own behavior. What destroys plans is speculation, super high fees, and just basic impatience. We get bored and we interrupt the compounding process. Or we build this perfect financial plan that only works in a perfect world, completely ignoring the fact that real life brings job losses, health crises, and sudden surprises. To win, you have to avoid those exciting trends, keep your costs relentlessly low, and build a resilient plan that can actually survive reality.
So your ultimate takeaway from all this incredible source material is really just this simple equation. Financial success equals maximizing endurance, not just chasing returns. The goal of money isn't to get the highest possible return in the shortest amount of time. And it definitely isn't to look like the richest person in the room. The real goal is to maximize your endurance. Can you survive the really hard times without panicking? Can you avoid the trap of envy? You really don't need to beat time. You just need to let time work for you.
And I'll leave you with this incredibly powerful question inspired by Morgan Housel's work. I really want you to think about this today. Can you define what enough means for you before greed defines it for you? Because if you don't define your enough, that goalpost is just going to keep moving forever. True wealth isn't about numbers on a screen. It's about building a life where money serves your values instead of controlling them. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer, and I challenge you. Take a hard look at those invisible money habits driving your life today.